Hey guys, it's Venom here with a deck profile for Kaijudo. I'm here with it's not all my cards actually. It's me and my friend Trevor's cards. We decided to build this deck together. I gave him a few of my extra stuff for me to be able to hold the deck, and me and him are both going to use it. But it's more my strategy than his, to be honest. At first he wanted it to be all out aggro, and then I was like, no, it really needs the early game defenses, and I added in a whole bunch of creatures or early game or one drop blockers and stuff. But it's based off of this card right here, Ravu the Stormbringer. You have to, or here, let me read them for you. First of all, he's a 6-drop Skyforce champion. He's an evolution, so you must put him on one of your Skyforce champions. He's a double breaker. He breaks 2 shields, and my dog might be barking soon. His abilities are Lightning Vortex and Eye of the Storm. Lightning Vortex simply states, at the end of each of your turns, untap all of your creatures. Now, that's a mediocre effect, because without blockers, this isn't going to do much. But it still allows you to attack a bunch every turn. I mean, it still allows your blockers to be able to attack without you worrying about them. And, you know, it's one of those cards, you're kind of skeptical of it right now. But then his Eye of the Storm. All your creatures have blocker. You may tap a creature that has blocker to change an enemy's creature's attack to it. So that's what makes this card fabulous, is it's an 11,000 blocker that can stand, or that can untap it each of your turns, and it does that with all your creatures. So it's an 11,000 blocker. This immediately is better than Grand Gert, plus it untaps itself. It's not a skirmisher, so it can attack shields. Your other big 6 and 5 drop creatures, because you have to have those big creatures for this to evolve on, are all going to be really huge double breakers slash just blockers that can swing and come right back. You know, the deck's just, it's fun. It's one of those, it's kind of like mono red Dracons. It either works or it doesn't. And hopefully I can get it to, me and Trevor both can get it to the point where it just works every time. But let's go ahead and get into the deck profile so far. For the light cards of 1-drops, you run triple of Thunder Cruiser and triple Chasm Entanglers. You want to get out those, or the deck is, the one thing that the deck lacks is good turn 1 plays, so we added these in to get those turn 1 plays. Plus it also lacks in taking, it takes time to set up your plays, so therefore you need early game blockers to keep your opponent from killing you quickly. This is your only early game attacker. It is 2 Pricklebacks. It's good because it dodges kill spells at the end of the turn, or dodges kill spells that your opponent wants to play on it during their turns. So it dodges those, and it comes right back to hand, and it's only a 1-drop, so it's decent, and it's 2,000, so it gets past all the 1-drop blockers easily, because your opponent's not going to want to block with their 1-drop blockers and suicide them for a Prickleback. I mean, it's just a Prickleback, right? But anyways, Prickleback's really good. And the only other actual legitimate blocker in the deck is going to be 3 Star Lanterns. If you see that we run no 2-drops, and we also run no 4-drop creatures. That's because our 2-drops and our 4-drops we want to be using on Sprout and Reap and Sow to get us mana into the mana zone quickly, and to draw power with the Reap and Sow. But anyways, this is probably my favorite blocker other than Grand Gert and the 6-drop himself, Stormbringer. It blocks 2 attacks in 1 turn pretty much. Now getting on into your really huge drop creatures. These are your Skyforce champions that you want to get out there. There's 3 Starwings. This is the only decent 5-drop that we can play. We were going to play Twilight Commander, but we realized the only card it would really be untapping in this deck would be this guy. And this guy dies to a lot of blockers, so what's the point in that? So we decided to run this over Twilight Commander, because this is a 5,500, so it gets past the few 5,000 blockers that are out there, and it also gets past Tornado Flame that Red runs, which is Red's highest kill spell. So therefore this cannot be killed by Red whatsoever unless they attack into it as it's tapped. And by the time this comes out, you're also probably going to have this out, so it's not going to be tapped. So therefore this is going to be unkillable by Red spells, by Red decks, while Twilight Commander would be killable by Red decks. 1 Astinos. We want to change this up to 2 Starwings and 2 Astinos, but we only have 1 copy of Astinos between the 2 of us, so sad face there. And then triple Starlight Strategist. This card is absolutely amazing. It's a double breaker, and what makes it good is its ability. Celestial Guide. Whenever this creature or one of your other Skyforce champions enter the battlefield, tap target enemy creature. So you tap target enemy creature, kill target enemy creature, pretty much. It's just so good. And then the last of the creatures is obviously triple Ravu, the Stormbringers. We don't have our hands on it yet, but we also want to add in one, maybe two copies of Lepidos. It's the 8-drop dude, or it's the 8-drop green dude that is just absolutely broken with decks that untap all their creatures and all that stuff at the end of the turn and kill creatures instead of spells, instead of shields, with all these skirmishers, and you know, we're considering it. For the spells, you run triple Sprout to get the turn 2 play to get more mana, and triple Sunshock. You want this in your shields generally when they have 2 creatures on board and they attack the first one, and then you just Sunshock the second one, so they only get 1 attack off in the end. Double Breach the Veil. It's really good in their shields, but in hand you kind of just want to mana charge it so that way you can play your Star Lantern, to be honest, most of the time. Unless you don't have Star Lantern in hand, then this is your play. But this is to get that the 6 drops to your hand as quickly as possible. You have triple Return to the Soil, just to kill spell. You need as many kill spells as you can get. Triple Reap and Sow. This is probably the best 4-drop in the deck. You just want to play. You very rarely charge that card because you just get that free draw and that free mana. It's better than Sprout, and it's almost as good as actually, in some senses, it is actually better than Logo Scan, even though Logo Scan gets you 2 cards. 2 recharges. 3 feels like too many, so we only ran 2, and that we only had 2, but it's been working pretty decently. Most of the time it actually goes, for me at least, it goes into mana most of the time because I'd rather play cards like this. Mana Storm. The top 2 cards of your deck go into your mana, so you can immediately play, or this can give you, on turn 5 it can give you access to a nice turn 2 play such as Sprout, and then you can play one of your 1-drop blockers. So you can play this, then Sprout, then a 1-drop blocker, and it's just so good being able to have all those plays. Now the one downfall to this card is sometimes you hit 2 Ravus or something crazy like that. 1 Stormspark Blast. I only have 1 copy of it myself, and it's right here. And then the 3 copies he has are in his Mono Light deck, so we didn't want to take out any from our main decks. So therefore we kept this, or we moved this from my secondary deck into this deck. So, and last but not least, triple Root Trap. You need it for this deck. It's just kills anything you want it to kill, you know. So the one problem with the deck right now, I'd have to say, is probably either consistency or just speed in general. It's a very slow-paced deck, and it's not very good at controlling the board yet. But I have a feeling that with, especially with future sets, that this deck could get really, really good. Really, really powerful. Hopefully there will be some Skyforce champions as 4 and 3 drops in the future, so that way this deck will be even better. But you never know what's to come. So let me know what you guys thought of the deck. Rate, comment, subscribe. Go check out my other videos, and I will see you in the next video.